I think. If I was to compare myself with other immigrants who don't have a command over the language, the advantage is staggering.
It was interesting when I arrived in New York. The first months, I was really going through interesting experience. For the first time in my life, I felt as a minority, white minority, on the subway, and that was always, in the beginning, very strange feeling. And I enter a subway car, and there is about 1/3 or less white people. So, as a person who comes from a country where there is only white people, I felt very strange.
With increasing immigration, America is becoming more diverse every day. In 1980, the US was 80% Caucasian. In 2005, it was 72%. And according to the Census Bureau projections, by 2050, it will be close to 50%.
America has been pretty welcoming. I think it's a culture that's used to having people from different parts of the world, and so in that sense it's welcoming. But it's not overly. I think people are stick to themselves, especially in the neighborhoods where I come from. People would interact a lot more, so we haven't had that. So in that way, it hasn't been a warm reception, but it hasn't been a very cold one either.
I'm accepted, but that thing is still over there. That is Iranian.
Sometimes just by the way you look, just by the way you speak, just by the way, if you don't speak the language, they're harder on you.
When the first World Trade Center bombing happened in downtown, we scheduled a gallery show with the gallery. Scheduled, everything was there, even the photography for the announcement was taken when the bombing happened. And the gallery owner called me the next morning and said, the show is cancelled. I said, why? He said, because you are Iranian. I said, I'm Iranian, but I'm not, Arab. These people supposed to be Arab, has nothing to do with me.
I think it's been almost entirely positive.
Absolutely, best move we ever made.
Yeah.
You've become Americanized, to a certain extent. And it's still an ongoing issue because it's a real concern, like how much of your culture do you keep and how much do you not?
Recently, the national focus has shifted towards the rising number of illegal immigrants entering the United States. With over 12 million illegal alien workers already inside the US and another 800,000 predicted for each coming year, one issue is whether immigration laws and enforcement systems are working as the public wants them to.
We here in the United States have to accept the fact, in my opinion, that although we're a small percentage of the world's population, we use an overwhelming amount of the resources of the world. Therefore, we have to then live with the fact that people are going to come here to survive. Those who are going hungry, who don't have employment, are going to come.
It's basically a good that has some bad effects. And if you think about the policy challenge, it's how do you maximize the benefits?
There's not the legal means for these workers to come into the United States and have legal status while they're working. That then makes them liable to exploitation through lower wages, through not having the same workplace protections, workplace safety, environmental things, working hour protections, and all that.
This is Quatimone Morphin. In the summer of 2006, he helped organize one of the largest pro-immigration rallies in the country.
We had Asian, and we had Polish, and we had Irish, and we had Indian, and we had all kinds of immigrants that joined along as we walked to Batavia. We started with approximately 100 people, and we ended up over there in Batavia with over 5,000 people.
While he strongly supports immigration rights, he also believes proper border security must be in place.
I'm not against tightening up the borders because every country has to have control of their land, of their country, you know. I'm not saying open up the borders and let everybody in, you know. You have to, I mean, nowadays, especially nowadays, you have to be tight with security.
Basically, anybody trying to come into the United States illegally or trying to make an illegal incursion into the United States, it's considered a person breaking the law, breaking the federal laws of the United States government, coming into the United States illegally. It could be via water, via land, via air. It all adds up to the same thing. They're breaking the law.
This is Jose Rodriguez, a Texas Border Patrol agent who deals with this type of security every day. He showed us how many illegals cross the border.
A person who tries to make an illegal incursion into the United States, what happens? How do they go about doing it? Well, the thing is, they come down a trail similar to the one that's down there. They come straight down that trail, get to a certain point, get down to proper swimming fashion. Let's say people can swim better with clothes on. People can swim better with no clothes on. It all depends on how that person feels. They start wading across the water, swimming across whatever you want to do. Up to some portions you can actually walk across. What usually happens is that the people try or put their dry clothes in plastic bags, put those plastic bags on top of their heads and swim across, or either that, use a flotation device, put those bags of dry clothes on top of the flotation device, come across and get to this point right here. Threatening? I don't feel threatened. I'm here to perform my daily duties as a Border Patrol agent.
Thousands of Border Patrol agents are stationed across the US-Mexico border. But some people disagree with this process and the law which governs it.
The majority of those who come here illegally are coming for work. You can't solve that problem at the border. You have to solve the problem at the work site. And you have to provide tools to employers so that they can verify the work authorization of the people who come in to take a job.
The globalization of the economy is causing poverty and hunger in many countries that we traditionally have called the third world. While that is happening, there's no one, nor nothing, in my opinion, that could stop people from crossing the border.
The wage disparity between their country and that of the United States lures many immigrants to bypass the legal system and come to the US illegally.
Think, okay, I'm living in Mexico, I'm making $10 a week. All I have to do is cross a river and I can make $10 an hour. No one in their right mind would not try it.
Like my aunt, she was an accountant over there. An accountant, she graduated with accounting degree. And guess what? I was getting paid more working at the Branding Iron, flipping burgers than she was. So that forced her to come to the States to clean houses. To clean houses as an accountant.
As of 2006, the United States accepts more legal immigrants as permanent residents than the rest of the world combined. But applying for legal citizenship takes time, patience, and money. The process is very selective, and only a small percentage of those who apply receive their green cards.
Some of the people that have crossed the river illegally, they've tried coming here illegally. I know, for example, with my situation, it took us 7 years to get a residency.
Let's see, I can either pay this much, whatever it is, to see if I even get a chance to, the odds are against me that I'm not going to get it, or I pay $1,500 to a coyote to cross me across the border and I can work already. I don't have to wait. Which one would you take?
This is Russell Pierce,